Hey everyone, this is Manuel Lloyd here, creator of the um, system I call Interopsys, born out of Jacabi, GECABI, Government Education, Civil and Business Interoperability. And I also am the author of the Cybersecurity Constitution and the creator of the Zero Doctrine. It's been said that my way is more radical than others, and that may be the case only because it's different. And the difference is I don't put the internet at the top of my cloud. If you do any network diagramming, if you have seen network diagramming, everyone pretty much starts off with the cloud or the internet or the net, the information superhighway, the World Wide Web, whatever name it has today. And it has its uses. Obviously, I'm using it right now, and you guys use it, but it shouldn't be for mission critical stuff. And by the way, I will apologize up front if I need to about the way I talk. I am not an eloquent person. I'm a country boy from Mississippi. I like simple things, and when you get to know the Zero Doctrine, it's pretty simple, and but it's effective, and we're already proving that today. But anyway, let's get into this. I have two stories to talk about. I'm going to do two different lives because I want to make sure, honestly, that I have two separate videos or two separate streams that I can post because each story deserves its own attention. The first one we're going to talk about is the Justice Department. Well, not the Justice Department, but let me just explain. I want to just set the stage here. It was an escalated attack targeting the U.S. federal judiciary. I'll highlight the systems involved. Pacer. If you're a lawyer, you know what that is. If you dealt anywhere in law or legal ease, you know what Pacer is. And case filing. And stress and severity of exposing sealed indictments. We have some, you talking about radical. We have some radical things going on in our world today, not just in the United States, but all over the world. People are getting bolder and bolder, especially with your precious internet, because you have these keyboard warriors who can pretty much get away with anything. At least they think they can. Everything leaves a fingerprint, though. So I started my career out in security with President Reagan at Camp David in the Marine Corps, and I've been in love with protecting, let's just say, things, high value targets and national security secrets, things of that nature, for almost 30 years now. I'm an old man. I've been in this industry for quite a while. They would call me a dinosaur. But I want to get into this here. And the situation here is that we have to understand that this isn't a IT problem. IT people get a bad rap. They're the last one to know about the first thing that needs to be done in the event of an attack. They're overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. Some of them are jerks. Don't get me wrong. But that's people. That's human beings. But you should treat your IT people with a little bit more respect than just thinking you can just flip a switch. That's just my take on it. But it's not just an IT problem, it's a national security problem. The exposure of sealed indictments, it can let adversaries preempt arrest or tamper with cases. We're in a world where it's go, 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 go. And sometimes people don't stop and check things and they don't ring bells. Well, we need to find a way to make that easy. Well, let me say not make it easy, but make it more uh, controllable. You know, a cyber attack on the U.S. federal judiciary system compromises, you know, Pacer. That's a big thing that could affect all of us, not just federal and government officials, but any person. You know, it's a case filing system, and it exposed sealed indictments and warrants. People's lives could be on the line with this kind of nonsense. Um, why does it matter? Well, let me see here. Where do I begin? Let's just say zero exposure means isolating sensitive judicial data from public networks. Our data guardian um, ensures lifecycle control. Then our trust net is quorum. Trust net quorum requires multiple verifications before external access. And then our revive protocol ensures operational continuity after a breach. A breach of judicial systems is a direct threat to the rule of law. As it says here on the slide, it enables adversaries to preempt investigations and compromise witnesses. Now, just think about what's going on in the news right now. I don't watch the news much, not anymore. It's all seems to be death, destruction, and despair. I think there should be a law that should change it from news to just tainment. You extainment, whatever you want to put in front of it, but it's not informative or edifying. That's for sure. And you news organizations should be ashamed of yourselves. You got into a point of greed where it's 2 minutes of so-called news and 8 minutes of commercials. We see where you're going with this. Anyway, I don't need to get on the soapbox. Zero Doctrine analysis. My Zero Doctrine, I just mentioned the Data Guardian, the Trust Net, Quorum, and Revive are key to protecting judicial integrity. Very, very key. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So here are my proposed countermeasures. I'm just trying to see how many slides I have here. I want to be mindful of your time and mine because I have another one to do at 10:30. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we want to implement air gap enclaves, lifecycle data governance, and multi-party trust enforcement. Your frameworks will give you recommendations, but I'm going to give you enforcement, how to stop this nonsense from ever happening in the first place. So, the air gapped enclaves is a big, big, big thing in Zero Doctrine. It basically is how we control the flow of data. And I just got an alert. Oh boy, I have to look at that. Anyway, judicial systems should be housed in air gapped enclaves. You're talking about judicial systems. Data must have strict lifecycle governance, and access to sensitive files should require multi-party approval. Have you ever been to a courthouse, a federal courthouse, or any kind of courthouse? It is so easy to be malicious. Physically, maybe not. But most of the people there are there because they don't have that much of a clue of cyber and magnetic readers and scanners, and things of that nature. They're not looking for that. They're looking for physical threats. But we have to, I don't know, I'm 60. I'm almost 60. I'm 59 now. I'll be 60 next year. But we have to look at um, what is the best organization we could have going into the realm or to the dispensation, if you will, of cyber. If you didn't grow up with cyber, you're probably going to be behind and you're probably going to not understand. So it might be time to get out of the way, be elders, and let the younger generation that grew up with cyber run the show. Now, you younger people don't need to get arrogant and cocky. You need to listen to your elders for wisdom and understanding of how systems work, because systems are always going to be uh, the same, pretty much. You might use a different apparatus like cyber for your system, but you still need that elderly advice uh, of how the system works so that you can apply the apparatus that you're using, aka in this instance, cyber. I'll wrap up, excuse me, the analysis by calling for national adoption of Zero Doctrine. That's right. I want to call for national adoption of Zero Doctrine. And the Zero Doctrine safeguards specifically for the judicial branch, emphasizing its role in maintaining national stability. You know, my vision, or if you want to call it that, my goal has been from the very beginning. In 1992, I believe it was, and I had that nightmare of how easy it was to breach our data, is to cover this entire nation with my doctrine. At that time, I'll be candid with you, I didn't know it would be considered a doctrine. I tried to go to the patent route. I went there, got patent pending, saw that I had to reveal everything about it that I didn't want to reveal about it. And that was under Jacobi, Gecabi, which is, Gecabi, Government Education, Civil and Business Interoperability. I presented it to DARPA. I presented it to presidents from Clinton, Bush, Obama. And I don't know if it's gotten into the hands well, I tried with Biden as well. I don't know if it's gotten into the hands of Trump. So all of those presidents, because their advisors are telling them about frameworks. Framework this, framework that. Frameworks are a good schoolmaster, if you will. But they do not go beyond life, just like school doesn't. It gives you good principles, good morals, good values, a good understanding of just what they're called, a framework. But my Zero Doctrine, if applied across the country, you would see data breaches go down in droves. I guarantee you. And one thing you would also see are a lot of moles being exposed, because my Zero Doctrine exposes internal threats almost immediately. You can go to my website at manuelwlloyd.com. That's ManuelWlloyd.com. And you can sign up for a security training simulation. You can get a doctrinal brief. You can get a 10-minute audit, a whole bunch of stuff right there, white papers on my site. Before you judge me, before you say I'm too radical, look at it for yourself in the eyes of national security and critical infrastructure. And this justice system, our justice system, needs to have that kind of protection. We don't need to be willy-nilly out here letting files, just because we can't, software, when I first got into this world, software was defined as something you couldn't touch. Not defined like the official definition, but that's how my instructors talked about it. I had a colonel who taught me, and initially, and I forget what his name was. Tall dude, very serious. He taught me that and COBOL. Well, the first instructor taught me Pascal and Fortran. That was in high school in Mississippi. Can you believe that? In the Delta, no doubt. The whole Sinners movie was made in that Delta. That's the area I'm from. But anyway, our federal justice system needs protection. And I implore you to look at Zero Doctrine. Federal government agencies, state, Fortune 500, critical infrastructure providers, defense contractors. Take a look at my doctrine. Get a doctrinal brief. Get a complimentary one just to whet your appetite. Won't cost you a thing. And by the way, I'm looking for sovereign doctrine partners, some more of them. I want to be able to eventually, outside of an NDA, publicly talk about what we are doing for them. Right now, I can't because we're under NDA, and the organizations we're working with don't want any kind of exposure. And not that because they're embarrassed, it's just that because they're using it. It's just that it could jeopardize what they're doing. So, and I don't want to do that. My goal is to protect them. Listen, I got another one of these to do in about 15 minutes. It's going to be on, what's the next one going to be on? The blackout or black suit ransomware takedown. That's an interesting one. So until then, I'm Manuel Lloyd signing off. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.